following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Yo, happy Wednesday. I also want to show you I'm wearing my Bart Simpson Peace Man shirt because we're going to spread some peace, love, and unity throughout the world in a new podcast that is part of the Adventures of Pipeman. We're here on the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio, and we are going to be launching a new podcast, and we're kind of debuting it today on the live show, and it's called Pipeman, the Wandering Jew. And we're going to talk more about that. And we're going to talk about what day it is today. And we're going to talk about the Pipeman Radio Tour and some things that have gone on recently and some interviews. So now let's welcome the Pipe Nuts who are not Jews. I just want to say we have somebody that could be anti-Jew on the show just because of their geographic location. And then we probably have somebody pro-Drew because we have the same enemies, I think. I don't know.
Kind of.
All right.
So, seriously, though, Louisiana. I can't broadcast this new podcast out of Louisiana because...
Yes, you could.
No, that's one of the homes of the KKK, don't you know? I'm sure you know, Rebel. You must know.
Go there. Anyway, so no, that's I had Jewish friends when I was growing up in school, so I don't see why not.
Wait a minute. Okay, so I want to stop you right there before we get serious. Okay, we're going to be a little not serious first, and then we're going to be a little serious, and maybe not serious, but seriously, how do you feel that people feel when you say, "Oh yeah, I'm not racist. I'm not anti-Semitic. I have so-and-so friends." Let me ask you, Juan, as somebody that is not an Anglo-Saxon wasp from Louisiana, okay? Well, that is the official religion of your state. But Rebel's a good person, don't get me wrong. She loves everybody except all the people she hates. But how would you feel, Juan, if somebody said that to you, like that, you wouldn't even tell them this, but how would you really feel?
I mean, it's pretty simple when you put it that way, because that's exactly what a racist would say.
Right. Exactly.
And you cannot convince me otherwise.
See, there you go. And when people say to me, I have Jewish friends, and what does that mean? That's my comment to that. And what does that mean? I want to hear what they have to say next. It's kind of like I always talk about people that want to be a guest on my show. Like everybody thinks they have the greatest content in the world. And I think people should think that, by the way. But in certain circumstances, they have to tone down the ego. Like if you don't think you have the greatest content, then why are you doing podcasts? So I agree with that. But I'll ask them, I'll be like, so why should I bring you on my show? And they'll 99% of the time, I'm not talking about like the rock people, the music people, the artists and all that. I'm just talking about your regular Joe Schmo out there that has a great message. And the 99% of the time they'll say, because I have great content. And I'm like, great. So do about 20,000 other podcasters. Now, what do you have? And they never have an answer to that question, by the way. Never. So that tells you something. So that's why it holds true here. You know, it's like, okay, so what does that mean to you? And see what their answer is then. I think that's how you can call out the racists and the anti-Semites, because sometimes, you know, you may mention something and not think you're being racist. So if you ask that second question will tell you everything you need to know.
What's the second question exactly?
What does that mean to you? Okay, so Rebel, you said you grew up with Jewish friends. What does that mean to you?
That means that I got to partake in things that his religion, even though he went to a Catholic school, I got to go to his house and enjoy things that they would teach me.
Can I pause you for a second? Because this is good stuff, except you said before you had Jewish friends, and now you referred to he. I don't know if it's a pronoun thing of 2026, but he sounds to me like you had one token Jewish friend.
No. Vincent was the one I remember the most because I went to his house more often than others. And his family, they were Italian as well. And his family showed me things that they did differently than the Catholic Church did. And it was
one of them would be, we don't do memes of ourselves as Jesus. Okay, go on.
He was a doctor, not Jesus. That's what he said.
Anyway,
well, it does make sense because it said in the thing that you're going to heal people. So it's like, so it you know, maybe you could get away with that. I don't know.
After he said, I'm gonna look it up and I'm gonna show it to you after the show. But after he said that, someone made an AI meme of like him transforming into like a sexy nurse with like really big breasts.
Well, I saw a good meme too. I saw one where they created this AI animation of the devil coming and grabbing him and throwing him into the pits of hell. Or not the devil, it was Jesus. Sorry. The real Jesus. Will the real Jesus please stand up? The real Jesus came and grabbed him and threw him to the pits of hell. But anyway, speaking of the pits of hell, let's talk more about Louisiana. Okay, go on, Rebel.
That was just it. I mean, I enjoyed being his friend and the other people that I knew. I enjoyed learning from them because it was different than what the Catholic faith taught people or brainwashed people, however you want to look at it.
Okay, so here we go. I found something very important that made you kind of pro-Jewish, that you're anti your own Catholic religion. So that kind of helps. Now, if you were very pro-Catholic in Louisiana, would you think the same way?
I don't see why. I don't understand why people don't like.
Let's talk about your family, though. Okay, the ones that are like strict Catholics in your family.
I don't know if I have a strict Catholic person in the family, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, my point is, I think a lot of hate, racism, anti-Semitism stems from just they're uninformed. They're only informed by their bubble, like most people. Everybody, you know, like I think people need to travel all over the world because I know people that have never even left the street they've grown up, they lived on their whole life. And that doesn't give you the necessarily a view of what human beings are. It gives you your viewpoint from your little bubble. And I think people need to experience outside the bubble. What do I mean by that? I'll give you a perfect example having to do with what we're talking about. I did have a conversation with a neo-Nazi once. Okay. And I decided with this person, and I decided, you know, I'm not going to hate on them because to me, hate breeds more hate. Like the whole idea of now everybody just hating everybody is absolutely ludicrous. Okay. all it's doing is making more hate and more hate. Somebody's got to be on the love side, okay? You got to balance the scales. I'm a Libra. You got to balance the scales. So I decided to show this person, basically, I don't know, just give them a voice. And I sat there and I wanted to understand why they would hate me because I'm Jewish. Okay. And so then I let the person speak. And what I found out in that conversation, this is not somebody that wants to hate people. This is somebody that's all they grew up around. Like, if that's all you're surrounded with and that's all you believe certain things, just like cults happen and everything else. There's this thing. I had it said to me while I was in Costa Rica, not by Costa Ricans, but on social media. And that's what prompted this new podcast, which I'll talk about in a second. But I had somebody literally sit there and make a comment about, me having horns in my head, because that was always a joke when I was a kid too, like, ooh, the Jews. And that started really with Hitler, because Hitler promoted to the poor Christian people of Germany that the Jews were sent by the devil, and to save Christianity is why we need the pure race and need to kill all the Jews. That's the basic concept of what started that whole thing. And there's a reason we're going to talk about the Holocaust today too. And maybe we'll in a minute, Rebel let us know, because it's part of her segment, okay? And we'll see how she does with that. But, the thing is I sat down and talked with this person, and they were just so uninformed. So instead of arguing with them, instead of attacking them, like so many people do nowadays, you are not going to convince anybody of anything by constantly attacking, name calling, not listening, and only seeing your viewpoint. Okay. Just saying that right now. And I don't know why people are doing it today. Okay. But the thing is, I was listening to some of the things he said, and one of them is like, that's what a lot of these neo-Nazis are taught. Like, we have devil horns in our head. Like we're from the devil. First of all, Jews don't even believe in this fictional character, the devil, Beelzebub, whoever you want, Satan. In fact, true Satanists, they don't worship Satan, they worship the earth. People are a little confused by fear. Okay. We also don't believe in hell and damnation. We believe in, we don't believe in all that fear and negative stuff. And I just want to say right now, if you're against the government of any particular country, that doesn't mean to be against their people. Okay? I may not like a lot of the things the Israeli government's doing right now, but I love the Israeli people and I love the Jewish people. And there is a difference. And maybe we don't know things that other people know, okay, that are in the know. All this stuff with politics and wars, it's all for political show. My grandmother, when I was a little kid, she told me about this book she had. And the book basically described that every war up until that point was planned ahead of time and planned who got what and who got what taken away from them. And I believe that probably happens, okay? Because it's all about things that are very, very different than what we think they are. So stop buying into all the propaganda and the AI and the social media. Come to this new podcast, Pipeman, the Wandering Jew, because I do wander all over the earth. And I was actually nicknamed that in my early 20s because my family called me that because I always moved where I vacationed. So it's not something new for the Pipeman. And so and then you could get some insight that is, we're going to have both sides. We're going to have guests on from both sides. I'll bring anti-Semites on because I'd rather educate them than fight with them. Bottom line.
I don't understand why why would you not like somebody just because of a religious belief?
I told you because
most of these people don't even know why. They're just following what someone else told
What
them, like
their
the previous
religious
generation.
leader says.
And even the previous generation doesn't even know why. They're just following the previous generation's instructions.
And it's not always
so
religion either. It could be many things. It's where you grew up. It's what you grow up in. You know, people that grew up in my father's time, some of the racism was just normal. It wasn't good, but it was just normal. So people didn't think of it the same way as I think we're, thinking of it now, which now is the better way. But the thing is it keeps coming back. Like Jews, they've been trying to kill off Jews and Israel since the beginning of time. Not 1948, people. All you people spreading the stuff that Israel's only been around in 1948 and you call yourself Christian, you better go reread the Bible because it's in the Bible. If you really read your Bible, it's in the Bible. It's way before 1948. 1948 is political. There is a difference. And that's what we're experiencing now is political. Okay. And so there's going to be a lot of ranting. There's going to be a lot of good stuff. But the mission of the show is like we are the Avengers for the Jews everywhere. And we're going to fight anti-Semitism and hate globally. It's not just a podcast. It's a Jewish movement of love and unity for all humanity with guests of all religions in support of Jews and even guests who are anti-Semites to debate the truth. And going back to that neo-Nazi, after he was done, I got to speak to him a little bit calmly, no attacking it. And it made him start to rethink. He's like, I didn't know that. Listen, it's no different, Rebel, than when you came to Florida and you're like with the signs, with the HIV signs or with the screen doors. You're used to your bubble. We have our bubble and we have to share the bubble so people understand, and now Rebel has nothing to say because she muted her mic,
No, I always have stuff to say. It's true though. I mean, when you only surround yourself with your environment, that's all you know until you start learning things.
Exactly. And the only way to learn is to listen and ask questions. That is the main thing in Judaism. We are not taught to believe God. We're not taught to believe the Torah. We're taught to question God. It's actually mandatory. It's a commandment. There are not 10 commandments. There are 613 commandments. Read the Bible. You want to quote scripture and you want to be a Bible thumper, maybe you should observe what the Bible actually says instead of picking and choosing you want to do. If you don't want to observe anything in the Bible, that's probably better. I'm just going to say it right now.
Who decided that these were the top 10? And are they the top 10 in all religions or just certain religions?
Well, they're not the top 10. They're a specific 10 commandments that Moses was given at Mount Sinai. We just had Passover. That's what that was about. And the Jews were slaves and there was the burning bush. Now, here's what the Jews feel opposed to the Christians about that Bible story. Okay, let's take that one specifically. We know it's all metaphors. We don't really think that there was a burning bush. We don't really think that the water was spread apart. The Red Sea was spread apart. We call it midrash, which in Hebrew means fable, because we believe that the Torah is so complicated and it's been in multiple languages. So anything in English has not probably been translated properly. It wasn't even Hebrew first. It was Greek, then Aramaic, then Hebrew, then English. So that's a lot of translations to get shit wrong. Okay.
Lost in translation.
No doubt. Okay. But see, the point is, midrash means, the Torah, the stuff in the Torah is so complicated that we need these stories to kind of explain it. So, and the metaphors that we can relate to, just like when we're trying to remember something, we use something to label it. By the way, I brought in my lunch. I was stuck at a drawbridge red lights, and the elevator in this building, I'm not sure which is slower. Okay. I got here on time, but I wanted to bring up my lunch because I didn't get to eat yet, because it's a Jewish lunch. It's tuna fish. That's a stereotype. Jews eat tuna fish.
Everybody eats. Well, not everybody, because some people don't like it.
Jews are known for eating tuna fish. Okay, it's just a thing. We're brought up that way. If you're a Jew, you're brought up, you eat tuna fish. It's just a thing. We're also taught to eat corned beef and pastrami. I hate corned beef and pastrami. So I'm like the only Jew that doesn't eat corned beef or pastrami, and never liked rye bread. I have to eat it now, but I never liked rye bread. A Jew eats a sandwich on rye bread with mustard. I don't eat mustard on. So when I go into a Jewish deli, I definitely get some Jewish hate, because I'll eat ketchup on a hot dog and I'll eat mayonnaise on a sandwich. And those are, I think they're the 11th and 12th commandments. Thou shalt not ask any Jew, thou shalt not put mayonnaise on a sandwich. Thou shalt not put ketchup on a hot dog. Thou shalt not do that's. I think it's more important than being kosher, personally. I don't know, but it is what it is. But it's okay, because Jews can break the rules sometimes, because sin is not even a word in the Hebrew language. It's not a word in the Bible. The Christians turned it into a word, because the translation actually means missing the mark. Because a sin you can't recover from. Missing the mark you can correct. And so, back to your question, Rebel. The story as it goes is God gave these tablets at the burning bush at Mount Sinai to Moses for the Jews. And yet, I guess they were God's 10 most important commandments. I guess some weren't as important. Like in Judaism, it is a commandment that the husband shall sexually please the wife, not the other way around, like Catholics like to make it. Okay. So, which I want to bring that up for a second, but apparently that didn't make the top 10, which shows that women did have some say in probably the 10 commandments, because, well, maybe they didn't, because they would have gotten that one up there. I will also dispel another disbelief or wrong belief. Jews don't believe, like when you go to the Orthodox temple, the men and women are separated. It's not because of the women being a lower level. We believe that women, when they're born, are already at the peak spiritual level with God. And that's why they're the ones that raise the children. And that's why in Judaism, you are the religion of your mother, because the mother is who stays home and takes care of the children. The men have to study Torah for their whole life just to try to be at the same level as the woman. So there you go. That's why every woman likes to say, oh, I'd like to get a nice Jewish guy, because we're taught to treat women properly.
Like,
and not wear wife beaters and beat them. Do they do that in Louisiana? How many guys do you know that are married wear wife beaters in Louisiana, Rebel?
I don't think that's a thing anymore. I mean,
I think Louisiana is backwards. I think the females are the beaters.
Well, I think that's true for the Latinas, to be honest. But I like it. See, everybody knows I like Latinas, but I do like when they like hit you. It's like a turn on. Okay.
Not for everyone.
Well, Juan, can you please explain it?
Basically, when a female hits you, it usually makes like a thump or a slap sound. When a Latina hits you, it makes a squeak.
Oh, okay.
and it is really, a lot of times that's their passion and emotion coming out on you.
I know. Like it looks like they're being so aggressive, but to you, it's like, okay, that's cute.
Exactly. And it's normally they'll punch you in the arm. Like guys grow up doing dead arm contests all their childhood. Like by the time we're adults, you can hit us as hard as you want in the arm.
Listen, I remember when I was in school, we had this game called Bloody Knuckles.
Oh yeah.
Basically, it was just like you punch each other's knuckles like as hard as you can until someone like says, "Okay, that's enough."
Oh yeah, that was so much fun. I'll do it today. To this day, I try to do it with people today. You know, or how about the game of stick? Do you know about that game, Rebel?
Doesn't sound familiar.
So it's where you put your hand flat out on with your fingers spread on, flat surface, and you take a knife and you go in between all the fingers as fast as you can.
I've never heard it called stick before, but I know what that game is.
Yeah, so what do you call it, Juan?
I don't remember what the name of it was, but it wasn't that. It was something with Russian something, right?
No.
Well, we called it stick because it's a knife and it gets stuck in your finger when you miss. Rebel, what did you guys call it?
I don't remember.
So you guys are arguing with me. You don't even have the facts.
It's not called
That's
stick,
the problem nowadays. People just argue and they don't have the opposing answer.
I think
it's like I'm trying to learn from you. I'm trying to learn from you, and look, you're just giving me bullshit.
It's called.
I think we used to call it knife roulette. We used to call it different things, but sticks wasn't one of them.
Not sticks. Stick.
It was never called stick.
Yeah, it was in the Northeast.
And I am glad that the
game people played.
Or maybe it was in LA they said that. I can't remember which place they said that, but it was one of them too.
Is it because you stick the knife in between your fingers?
It's because if you miss, you stick the knife into your finger. That's why. And it hurts.
Well,
I do have some scars. I do have some scars. How about
you did it yourself. Hold on, wait. Let's be specific, and I'm not encouraging anybody to play this game. You didn't let someone else do the knife on your fingers. You did the knife on your fingers.
Exactly, to show how macho you are.
Do it.
No,
to show how macho you are.
You used to do it like with other people, so you show like how good someone is, but at the same time how much you trust them.
And who went faster. The other thing is where you would take a cigarette and put it on your arm, squeeze against somebody else's arm, and put out the cigarette and see who flinches.
Why waste a cigarette? I mean, cigarettes were never cheap to begin with, but why would you waste a cigarette like that?
I don't know. When I was a teenager, they doing this, they were 85 cents a pack.
Still good money back then.
I'm sure it was. Also, going to a Metallica show cost me $2 for the ticket and $5 for a shirt. So compare that to today.
Wow.
Let's segue a little bit, speaking of that, to the Pipeman Radio Tour, and then we're going to return back to the Wandering Jew because we got more to discuss. Okay, but I do want, and what we'll do is, Rebel, get ready, and Studio Nut, get ready, because Studio Nut's going to have to play a couple commercials real quick when I tell them to, and Rebel, we're going to see how much you can screw up what national day it is today. And we're going to question you about the things you say. I do want to just say, by the way, I want to give my deepest condolences to everyone in the United States. My heart goes out to you because my taxes are done and yours aren't. Happy tax day. Because you can guarantee 90% of the people still have not finished their taxes yet. Like, remember when people used to like be in a long line at the post office when you couldn't e-file, and and some people were late on their taxes because they'd be waiting online to file their taxes, and the place would close.
And beware, folks. Make sure that the postmark on there states this date, not another, because that will make
happens.
It late.
Well, you still live in Louisiana. I forgot. You guys aren't with civilization now. Most people aren't worrying about the postmark because they're e-filing, okay? Just say it.
Those who have to mail it, make sure you get there before the post office is even close to closing, because they could put the wrong postmark on there.
I have a trivia question for both of you. Let's see if one of you get it right. Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
Who are the people that are most likely to file their taxes earliest?
People who need money.
Jews?
No, but that was a good answer. Probably Jews, maybe. But yeah, Rebel was on the right path. It's the people with the biggest refunds. It's who need to pay their bills. Like they use the refund to pay their bills. Those are the people. Okay. They're like January 1st. How come I haven't got my 1099 yet? How come I didn't get my W-2 yet? I need it. I need to file my taxes. Well, you'll have to wait because you got till 31st to get that. Sorry. I have to pay your bills some other way.
If you don't have the last paycheck stub, folks, you have to wait for that W-2 or whatever you get paid to come in. But, oh my goodness, people have said, well, keep in mind, these people have like 7 and 8 kids. I got $11,000 back. The minute they get it back, they're broke again. It's like,
well, that's what I'm saying, because they're using it to pay bills.
Money.
They all spent the money before they even got it.
I know, right? That's sad.
What happens is then they're squandering and pay their bills because they didn't get their tax refund when the government said they would. Go figure. The government tells you something and it doesn't come true. Oh my God.
You actually believed the government when they said it.
Okay, so back to the Pipeman Radio Tour, then back to what day it is, which has to do with the Jews and other things, and back to the Wandering Jew, Pipeman. Okay, so the Pipeman Radio Tour has been pretty cool. It started off a couple weeks ago at Hell's Heroes. What a badass festival in Houston, Texas. It was so old school too. Like I had so much fun. I was on stage for one of my favorite bands, Tankard, because I interviewed them and they came over here from Germany. They didn't have any, crew or anything. So they're like, can you just come on and take pictures? Sure. So my job was I was running around the stage, taking pictures and video and handing them beers. Cause Tankard, if you know what that means. Okay. And they're a German band. There was a lot of beer drinking going on. Like we almost ran out of beer on stage and we had a lot of it. I had to go get backup beer.
So you guys pretty much got Tankard.
They got Tankard for sure, which led to the fun we had later afterwards. Because there's some pictures and you could, one of the dudes, I won't say who, was so Tankard that in taking a picture like 5 in a row, he had different levels of keeling over and different levels of eyes closing. It's pretty cool. So I did some shows lately, locally. I've also done a bunch of interviews. Michael Graves, one of the nicest people, former singer of the Misfits. Got to check out the interview on, just go anywhere you listen to podcasts and you can catch all my interviews that aren't on the show. Or you can just go to the Adventures of Pipeman.com and you can catch all my recent shows, all my interviews, everything. So Michael Graves was a cool one. We also had, I talked about this on Monday, we had the Artemis 2 crew requested a wake-up song from the Freddie Jones Band. And so we interviewed them for that. There's a bunch of interviews you got to check out. I talked about them on Monday. We won't repeat them all today, but go check them out. There's some really good interviews. But we also did this really cool interview that we're going to talk about in a minute when we get to the National Day thing, because it has to do with the National Day. Okay. But then I also did a show. We did an interview with, there's a band I hadn't seen since 1983 at the US Festival on Heavy Metal Day. This band Triumph, killer band, played there. And I remember finally, shows how different times are, because I was like, even then, I was like, why are they on Heavy Metal Day? They would never be on Heavy Metal Day in 2026, but they're an amazing band. Rebel, do you know who Triumph is?
Yeah, I believe I do. I've heard of it.
How about you, Juan?
Not a
These
clue.
kids, they don't know shit, man. Okay. But Triumph, one of their big songs was Magic Power. One of their big songs was Fight the Good Fight. And they are killer. They did a killer show at the Hollywood Hard Rock Live Casino down in Hollywood, Florida. It was a killer show. I was on the guest list, and it was really fun. And it's amazing. Like, one of the main guys in the band is 72, and he was just jamming it. Like, and they have the original members. Now, they play the warm-up band. The opening band was April Wine, another band that's I'm a fan of. They don't have the original members. They got blessings from the original members before they passed away to move on with this and keep the legacy going. But Triumph has the original members are from Canada. How are Canadians always such great musicians? They have like 3 people in a band, and they make the sound like they have 9 people in the band. Like, it's always Canadian bands have 3 people and have massive music. So yeah, check out that interview too. And now I want to talk about one of the days it is that it segues into. Rebel, do you know which day I'm talking about that I want to segue into?
I would think it would be McDonald's Day.
Yeah, can you believe it's McDonald's Day today? The same as Tax Day. People have no time to do anything, so they go through the drive-thru at McDonald's. That's why it's the same day. Actually, the story of Ray Kroc, who's the inventor of the franchise, who started this whole McDonald's franchise thing, that's what it's really celebrating, the beginning of a franchise. This guy, 66 years old, broke, homeless, started the biggest phenomenon in history.
Was he friends with KFC, the Colonel?
I don't think so, but it's a similar story too. It's a similar story. And he got turned down everywhere, Ray Kroc. But the key is, one of my favorite things that my mantra that I live by, it's behind me, right over there. It's behind me right over there. Let's see if we can. No, that doesn't work. There we go. No, it is that one. So it's that one right there. Okay. And it's by Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world. I will persist until I succeed. I am not a shepherd waiting to be prodded. I'm not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to walk and talk with the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. I will persist until I succeed. And so basically, to me, persistence is the most important thing in life. That is, you talked about Colonel Sanders, persistent. You talk about Ray Kroc, persistent. Then you talk about MacSabbath. And boy, I got to tell you, this was a great show. It was at one of Rebel's favorite venues, Respectable Street in West Palm Beach, the place that she claims she almost got trampled and punched out.
I didn't claim it. It happened. I got punched in the stomach.
And did you punch him back?
No.
Well, then
one rude gesture doesn't deserve another.
If somebody punches
so you deserved it.
Yeah, see?
I was standing against the wall behind a light so I wouldn't get hurt.
Okay, well, you didn't have that problem here. I was like sitting right there with some. This was the most entertaining band, because what they do is they do covers of Black Sabbath songs, but they rewrite the lyrics to campaign the evils of fast food. See, now the Jews are not evil. Fast food is evil. Okay, so for all you people out there that love jumping on each trend, let's jump off the hate towards Jews trend, and let's jump on the hate towards fast food and poisoning people's bodies trends. Because fast food kills more people than what people are claiming the Jews are doing. The Jews aren't killing anybody, okay? They're the ones always getting killed all the time. I don't get it. But anyway, so
wait, you got to tell them a little bit more than them rewriting the words. Tell them what else makes it so specific.
Well, so because they all dress up as McDonald's characters. So you have Ronald Osborne, who's the brainchild, okay, and he cooks up a bunch of food on the fryer and the grill on stage for everybody. It's really cool. And he also, squirts ketchup and mustard at people in the crowd. And then there's big buns that go out in the crowd. I can't say anything more on live on the air about that. Okay. And then the guitarist is the Mayor Cheese. What's
Mayor
his name? Yeah.
Mayor McCheese.
And then Grimace is the bassist. And then and the drummer's really good. The drummer is McBurglar. And they're really good musicians. Mick Burglar.
Hamburglar.
I know, that's why you're there. I want to see if you're paying attention. Okay, so but they were really good musicians. So that leads me back
really good
to
musicians.
There's another day today that's related to all this Jew hate stuff. And can you tell us? I want to hear how Rebel says it. Can you tell us what day it is, Rebel? Regarding Judaism, not today.
Oh, come on.
It was from Monday till Tuesday. So, what's it called?
Yom HaShoah.
You are very close. I'm actually very impressed with that. Try it one more time.
Yom HaShoah. Say it differently.
Try it again.
Yom HaShoah.
We'll get back to that in a second and we'll talk about that. Okay. And there's also what?
I was gonna give it a try. Is it Yom HaShoah?
You're very, very close. Very, very close. Want to give it another try?
Yom HaShoah.
Close.
Hasha.
We'll come back to it. Okay. But I want to talk about something else real quick that is today. And that is, first of all, it's National Laundry Day. Now, I don't know if that means people are going to buy a Groupon and come do my laundry.
Or if they're laundering money.
I was just going to say that. Or if they're laundering money before they file their taxes, because it's tax day, it goes hand in hand. Or if Pipeman, the Wandering Jew, would like to clean the world of hate and anti-Semitism.
Erase it out of there.
Look at that.
It's National Rubber Eraser Day.
Is it really? Wow. So we can erase anti-Semitism and racism today
right
with your eraser. It's all it takes to squash hate is an eraser. And let's also remember it's Jackie Robinson Day.
That's right.
Speaking of racism, okay, man, there's a movie about Jackie Robinson that I saw recently. Everybody's got to see it. Is so killer. And like what he went through to create what we have today, like that's what we need. People like Jackie Robinson, people like that who, are willing to stand up against hate. Because the ridiculous thing in Judaism right now is the Jews are being anti-Semitic. Like, what is wrong with you people? Let me ask you, Juan, how many Mexicans are anti-Mexican?
You'd be surprised.
Okay,
I think
Rebel,
I know a few.
How about Rebel? How many rednecks are anti-redneck? I mean, according to my ex-wife, thing one, redneck is in your blood, like it's in DNA. So that's why I brought it up. Oh yeah.
It's not in mine. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, because one time she said something to my youngest daughter, and my youngest daughter said, "I'm Jewish," and she goes, "Well, you're also redneck. It runs in your blood." And she's like, "Mom, redneck is not a nationality."
Unless you're talking about the hillbilly genes.
Well, she has that too. My thing one was half redneck, half hillbilly, and I
What a
kid you not.
combination.
Her grandfather, what I was talking about before, her grandfather literally lived in this small town in Virginia that they had a ticker tape parade when McDonald's came to town, which wasn't that long ago. But he never left the street his whole life. Both his wife and his girlfriend were on the same street.
Wow. And on that note, just want to remind everyone it's also National ASL Day. Please learn something.
Yeah, can you say it again for the radio listeners?
National ASL Day.
Is this where we get this from? Is this
No.
like in the ASL language?
I think that's
sure
what started the ASL language.
Okay, who knows what this means in Iran? So this is the difference between Reagan
what this
and
means
Trump.
is in England.
This is the difference between Reagan and Trump. Reagan got up and did a speech to Iran, and he did that with a big smile on his face. That's the same as us giving the middle finger. But he was kind of slick about it instead of posting crap on social media saying that you're going to eliminate a whole what is it? Not race, a whole civilization. Is that what he said? He was going to wipe out a whole civilization.
I believe so.
Wow.
Whole civilization.
Wow. Ego much? I don't know.
On that note, it's also National That Day Sucks. That Sucks Day.
Well, that sucks. Anybody that's an anti-Semite today listening to this show, it sucks for them. But I invite them to come on, and I will debate any anti-Semite, any neo-Nazi. I will debate you live on the air on my show. I invite you. Come, comment, message me, whatever. You could be a guest on my show, and we will see who will wipe out whose civilization. Oh, wait. No, I'm
Speaking
not
of
going to wipe
wiping
out
out,
I'm not going to wipe out a civilization.
Titanic Remembrance Day.
Guys, screw the Titanic. There's already boats now bigger than the Titanic. That's old news. People got to let that shit go already.
You don't let history go. Learn from it.
Oh, never forget. Never mind. That's what I meant. Never forget the Titanic. Never forget. Okay.
National Anime Day.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Just Anime Day. I wanted to have, like a wonderful little costume, but it's not ready. Oh.
Well, it would look kind of ridiculous if we were talking about anti-Semitism and you were dressed up as an anime character. Now, that would have been good for Purim, which we just had that holiday, because you do dress up in costumes. That's where Halloween got the idea from. Okay. What's most important to me, and then we're off the day thing, is not most important, second most important. It's also Youth Homelessness Day. I was homeless at 15, lived on the streets, no help from anybody, and I'm here talking to you right now from that, and so we need to help our youth out there, because it's probably a bigger problem than ever even now. And so for all you homeless youths out there in the United States of America, if you look in the comments, I have put down Rebel's address, and she will bring you in and feed you. That's okay, right, Rebel? I forgot I didn't discuss that with you.
Thanks for nominating me. It's also Take a Wild Guess Day, so you can take a wild guess if that is correct or not.
Okay, so back to what day it is. But I want to say something. People confuse today's day with another day, and they both have similar meanings, but they're different. And that's what we're going to talk about towards the end of the show here. And I forgot. Why didn't you remind me to remind you, Juan?
Commercials.
Yeah, we're going to do ticket giveaways. So we'll run those commercials towards the end. Okay. We're going to do ticket giveaways to Louder Than Life and Aftershock. And basically, those are such badass festivals. You want to be there. Don't erase it. You want to be there.
I love how you say towards the end, and we're like 10 seconds away from the end.
I know, but I'm going to go a little over. Okay, so basically, it's Yom HaShoah.
HaShoah. There's no accent marks. That's why I couldn't pronounce it.
And okay, so there's another day that's in January called International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Both days are about the Holocaust, totally different perspectives. The one that's in January was done by NATO. You know, think about the hypocrisy there, okay? The organization that observes the Holocaust and to never forget so it'll never happen again is the organization that the person that supposedly is so pro-Jew and pro-Israel that had a Nazi grandfather would not want to be a part of. Sorry, I just had to throw some of that controversy in there. But yeah, it was NATO. They created that. The Jews created today. Well, it wasn't today. It was Monday sundown to Tuesday sundown. So we're on Wednesday. Rebel, you missed the boat. Okay, but we do want to remember, especially now, more than ever, because it's happening again, and it's becoming the same as it was back then. And I want to give one last viewpoint, but everybody look out. We're probably going to be doing the new podcast on Tuesdays. So we're going to keep Wednesdays the same usually. Mondays the same. Mondays are business and pet health stuff. And then Tuesday, because I'm the Wandering Jew, it's going to be both travel and Jew and anti-Jew and love and hate and all that stuff, because I am not standing for it anymore. There's too much hate in the world, and the Pipeman is going to squash it by playing stick. And so
I have a question.
Yes. What's your question?
You're doing it next Tuesday. Is that on?
I didn't say next Tuesday, but
you should though. It's Yom HaZikaron. I don't know how to say it.
Come on, you can do it.
HaZikaron. I don't know.
Well, we'll just leave it right there. So everybody tunes in Tuesday for the show. The Pipeman, the Wandering Jew, right here as a part of the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio. But we're going to have lots of great guests. I'm going to talk to Aston because he's the one I want as my first guest. And you're going to love him. He used to have a show on the station. He also, there's a lot of cool things about him. He was the personal assistant and probably still is to Dennis Rodman. He's very smart politically. He's very well informed about politics and government. He has a great group where there's no hate, there's no attacking, there's none of that. And you can speak about politics the normal way instead of the abnormal way we do it now. And he keeps going to Israel to help out with people there. And he sees things firsthand, and he is very pro-Jew, and he is very pro-Israel. And I invite anybody that wants to debate him to request to come on the show, because I'm sure he will educate you. He is a badass. I love him to death, and I love his support. And he's not a Jew. So anybody can come on the show. We're going to talk about Jews, non-Jews, hate, love. But our mission is to create love and unity throughout the world. All this hating each other, human beings, we're all human beings. We're one race, the human race. And if I do get elected president, we'll call it the Pipeman race. You know, kind of like the Gulf of Trump.
So the pipe race?
It'll be the pipe race. You're all going to be welcome in the pipe race. There is no racism or anti-Semitism in the pipe race. So stick with us. Again, Pipeman Radio on all socials. Check out the Adventures of Pipeman, and Positively Pipeman on all podcast outlets. We got to go because I'm really late. I should have been gone 5 minutes ago, but this is important. You're important. And thank you, Rebel. Thank you, Studio Nut. And thank you, all our listeners. Let's give away some tickets.
Louder Than Life, North America's loudest rock and metal festival, returns to Louisville this September with My Chemical Romance, Iron Maiden, Tool, Limp Bizkit, plus Pantera, Pierce the Veil, Gojira, Papa Roach, and more. Nearly 200 bands across 7 stages. Louder Than Life at the Kentucky Expo Center, September 17th through 20th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at louderthanlifefestival.com. Aftershock, the West Coast's largest rock, metal, and punk festival, returns to Sacramento this October with My Chemical Romance, Tool, Limp Bizkit, Pierce the Veil, plus Suicide Boys, Queens of the Stone Age, The Offspring, A Day to Remember, Wu-Tang Clan, and more. Aftershock, October 1st through 4th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at AftershockFestival.com.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.